ICS3U. We've already talked about characters in ASCII, and now we're going to see how to convert between characters and numbers. Remember, the ASCII chart gives us a one-to-one correspondence between characters and numbers. So I'll switch to Visual Studio Code and create a new project in Python I'll call it CHR and ORD. So CHR and ORD.py. And we'll see what these things mean. So just as a refresher, I guess, we'll go and look at an ASCII table. So I'm going to create a new window here so you can see it in my browser. And this is just a website that shows the ASCII table. And we started looking at, we're most interested right now in letters and numbers and things you can type in the keyboard. So we're looking at the decimal column and the CHR column, the character. And you can see there's a one-to-one correspondence between each character or thing you can type, some things you can't type, but are still characters, and a number. Uppercase A is always 65. Uppercase I is always 73. So now going back to Visual Studio, let's say we wanted to print out, so CHR, first of all, CHR will show the character that corresponds to the ASCII number. And you use it like this. You use CHR, and then in brackets, you'll put in the number. So we saw on the chart just before that 65 was capital A. So if we print out CHR of 65, it shows capital A. You can do something like a loop, for example. So you can tab that in, and you can say for I in range 65 to, let's say, 65 plus 26. So that would be 80, 90, 91. And then I'm going to change this to I. And when we run it, we'll get all the characters, and I did get that right. So it only goes up to 90. It does not, this is a really key thing. We discussed this in class recently. The 91 there is the exiting condition. So when I reaches 91, it exits before it can print. So it only prints out CHR for 65, 66, 67, and then up to 89, then up to 90. And it stops before, when it gets to 91, it ends. So that's only up to 90. And if you look at the table, I won't put it on my screen, but uppercase Z is 90. Okay, so back to Visual Studio Code. How about, I'm just going to put comments here for now because I want to isolate the code. Going the other way around, if we have a character and we want to find out what the number is in the ASCII table, we can use ORD. So we can say print. So let me put the comment. So ORD will show the ASCII number that given the character. Show the corresponding ASCII number given the character. So if we say ORD, and then in our brackets we'll put, whenever I use characters and not strings, I always use single quotes. It's a habit that you get into as a programmer if you've ever programmed in C, and maybe some other languages too, because whenever you're using a character, you have to use single quotes. Might as well get into the habit now. Python will allow you to do either, but you'll see me using single quotes and you'll wonder why. It's because I'm using a character, and I just prefer, so if I ever have to go back to C, it's not an issue. And the other languages kind of honor that, but Python is more forgiving, that's all. So if I print ORD, let's start with uppercase A, just because we already know it's 65. So when we run it, come on, you can do it. Where is it? Oh, there it is, 65 at the bottom. Now if I put lowercase a, notice it is distinct. It's 97. It's a different thing. So ORD and CHR do two different things. So we already showed how to use a for loop to check a range of characters, and that's really the end of the lesson, how to use ORD and CHR. And I'll make this document available as a supporting document for this video. And that's it.